Alright, now it's Saturday morning and the sun is shining and it's time to take the top of that carburetor off and see why it's spewing gas. It's okay, I've done that before a couple times. Alright, we pulled the top of the carburetor off and we've set up a little vacuum pump here. And we have ascertained that the needle and C is good because it's holding vacuum. So maybe we need to bump the float level down just a scotch.
See, look at this. Here, I want to do it with your camera and see what it does. See, look at the... See how this is all out of focus, that's out of focus, and right there where I wanted to focus, that's all sharp.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Well, let me see it.
Give me the cam, I'm making a video.
Oh, well, that's going to be a thing. That's what my kids do all the time. They're like, can I see the video? I'm like, no, I'm taking the video.
Great archery skills, right?
This is a 283 we put on the stand that the little guy put together the other day after I tightened the bolts. I ain't been doing no videoing because I got my brother here and he also does not understand cold starts because he lives in the South too.
That's true.
Like me.
Right. Georgia.
The aggravating rascal bent 2 push rods on this side now. Although I don't really understand why, really. But I noticed I straightened them out, and then these, I think it was that cylinder and that cylinder, you fire it up and it runs like crap for a little bit, but after a bit we started getting oil here. So I'm wondering if it ain't just the lifters ain't sticky, a little slack, bends the push rod. Maybe. Leaking oil all over the place. I'll apologize for the nonsensical jumping around video, but I'm gonna assemble this 283. I've had this cam kicking around for a long time, maybe 15 years, maybe more. Anyway, I got that way back in the day from Got Milky One for some reason or other, which he and I have both forgotten. But anyway, I'm going to use that in the thing. Pretty stout cam as I recall, or stout enough for this. Seems like it was 488 on the intake, 508 on the exhaust, or somewhere in that neighborhood. But this thing's got dome pistons, so I need to bleed off a little compression. At least that's my idea. There it is. I had to clean a little bit of light rust off the journals, but it kind of cleaned right up pretty good. Hope all the lifters are there. Oh, another nice thing is limited lifetime warranty. Now it's Sunday afternoon. My brother's gone home and I'm out here messing with this now. My wife was saying she wanted a radio in the 55, so I had this from somewhere and I wired it up, and doggone if it don't light up, so I'm gonna wire up some speakers and see if it works. I might put that in the 55. Ain't no telling what'll work on around here. More projects than 10 guys could do. And there's the cam we're putting in the 283. Put the crank in it last night. You're supposed to blow the horn twice for service. Okay, come on in. Whoa! Oh, Connor. Hurry up and shut the door. You're letting my cool air out. Hurry up! Hurry up! Hello, Mrs. Heavy Chevy.
Hello.
Why does the color look funny on this thing? I bet my brother was messing with this camera. Well, it's bad news on the Kenwood. It seems to work, but the amplifier or whatever in it must be junk, because you can barely hear out of these speakers. You gotta lay your ear on it. And since the fire breathing 55 makes so much noise, that'll never do. Will it?
Nope. Neither will it. And then
I'll tell you what, when I put that radio in the blue truck, way back when, which it doesn't have one in it now, but I put it in there, it wouldn't work. And I left it on after I got tired of messing with it, and then about 2 weeks later I came in the shop and the radio was playing. It just started working.
That's weird.
So I might have a good gremlin around once in a while.
Well, one time our TV went out in a storm and you were threatening to buy another one. And I didn't think that was a good idea. I prayed over it. And within a week, the TV started working and we used it for years after.
It's a miracle.
Right.
Well, it looks like the radio deal was a fail. I should just break down and buy a new one, shouldn't I? The thing turns on, it plays a CD and everything. Only trouble is you can just barely hear it. Probably can't hear it on the camera. But YouTube will be happy. I can't play any music. These speakers right here, I was just thinking about it. I've had those more than 20 years. I had those on the back dash on a 74 Nova with a 6-cylinder and a 3-speed. I had to keep a tire iron beside the seat so I could unstick the shifter whenever it got stuck. Did that for a pretty good while till my dad showed me how to adjust the shifter. You know, I was 18, thought I knew everything. I guess I didn't. So after he showed me that, I put the tire iron back in the trunk. That car was a 6-cylinder. It'd do wheelies if you put it in first gear and kept matting the gas just right. Pretty soon it'd go to bouncing and get a couple inches of air under the front tires. That was big fun. Wish you wouldn't be so selfish.
Unselfish?
Yeah. You brought your truck in and I started using it for a workbench and now you want to take it away again.
Well, I'm sorry I'm being selfish, but it is my truck. And I want to drive it.
Okay. It's so funny, watch your expression.
Well, I'm trying to understand how I'm selfish.
Look out! Just kidding, go ahead. No, she's gonna have to move. She's got parked dead center. Well, I've mentioned before, I gotta be in the mood to do stuff, and I got in the mood to put the pistons in this little 283. And I stuck number 2 in there and checked the oil clearance on the rod bearing. We're good. I just used some plastic gauge I had laying around just to make sure the machine shop didn't mess up. This engine spun a rod bearing on number 8, I think, if I remember right. That checked out good. But where we've run into a problem is, I think I would have checked this, but I probably got a good excuse. I can't think of it just now. I was getting ready to file the rings. Those rings don't fit in those pistons. So, no use to file them. We'll just have to put those in inventory in case if I ever build another 283 60 over and want cast rings. That'll probably never happen, will it? So, with a little checking with my handy dial caliper there, I determined I need a 16th ring, and these are 5/64ths. Did I remember that right? 5/64ths. Yeah. So, I guess I better go order some rings. Those probably won't be cheap. You reckon? Well, that puts the kibosh to my plans. But I can figure out something else to work on. Hey, maybe I'll go put this valve cover on that Travelall. Man says he's gonna come by and buy it tomorrow afternoon, maybe. I sure hope so. By the way, I can't remember if I mentioned it, but that thing bent 2 more push rods. I'm not sure why, but I straightened them out. I got them pretty straight. I'll tell the guy it's got straightened out push rods in it. I don't think that'll bother him. He seems to be an international fanatic. But hopefully it'll run okay when he comes. Went out and put the valve cover on this thing. Cranked it up. Still leaking like crazy. I figured out there's an 1/8" pipe plug right under that power steering bracket in the end of the head that must have fell out. I don't know. Anyway, it was spewing oil out of there, so I put a new pipe plug in it and fired it back up, and it was missing like crazy. So I changed 2 plugs. I don't know what's up with this thing. Found the plugs. Anyway, I put a Volkswagen plug in it. You can see it's too good. Now it runs pretty decent. I don't have the PCV valve hooked up, so it looks like it's got blow by right there. I don't have enough 3/8 hose. It's got a little tremble to it, probably from the straightened out push rods. Probably.